Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. My name is Sibel Rasim. I will be your facilitator this evening. Thank you all so much for participating in last session, but now we're going to have a little bit more fun as well in this session. And then we have another session after that, right? You're going to hear from some randomly selected institutions here to tell you a little bit about themselves. They're all so amazing in their own way. So we're super, super excited to get to know them a little bit more this evening. Now, with that said, before we get started, I just want to make sure that I cover some housekeeping items with you all. A couple of things I'd like to cover. First and foremost, you're going to want to ask questions, and we encourage those questions. But the way you will ask questions is by using the Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time. I stress at any time because we will not be having a live Q&A with attendee questions at the end. Again, we will not be having a live Q&A with attendee questions at the very end. So it's important that you ask questions at any point in time. I do ask, please do us a favor, if you could please put the institution's name within the question, just so we all know who the question goes to. That would be super helpful. Also, your camera and microphone are turned off. You're muted and your video is turned off, and the panelists cannot see or hear you. So again, really important to use that Q&A button to ask those questions. Fun fact, although the chat is disabled on your end as an attendee, if you do see notifications in the chat, don't be alarmed. Actually, you should click on the chat because our panelists and presenters could be putting their contact information or links that they want you to check out within that chat. So go ahead and check out the chat out periodically. Also, this is one of many college presentations offered, so go ahead and sign up for more sessions for the next time slot. And last but not least, if you'd like to relive the fun with us this evening, or maybe a family member missed out, you have a friend that wants to check out these institutions too, all of these sessions are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com BACS. Without further ado, I'd love to get started. So I'm going to reveal our institutions for this evening's session. We have first up Case Western Reserve University, University of Denver, Scripps College, Bennington College, University of Puget Sound, and Loyola Marymount University. So Case Western Reserve University, you are first.
Very good. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today. Let me tell you a little bit about Case Western Reserve University in lovely Cleveland, Ohio. So my name is Tom Fanning, Senior Associate Director of Undergraduate Admission. And as I said, Case Western Reserve University, Cleveland, Ohio. We are a major research institution with about 5,200 undergraduates and about 6,000 graduate level students who study in our master's and PhD programs, in our medical school, our law school, our dental school, and all the professional programs that we offer at our institution. In essence, on the undergraduate side, we have 96 different programs of study spread across all of the different disciplines you see represented on the screen here today. And I think historically and in the landscape of higher education, some of our largest departments are in the engineering areas and the STEM areas. We have a lot of pre-professional students, pre-med, pre-dent, even pre-law. We have a lot of people studying computer science, biology, psychology, finance from the business school are all large departments. In essence, the university is made up of 4 college undergraduate colleges. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, we have our School of Engineering, the Weatherhead School of Management, which is our business school, and the Bolton School of Nursing. Now, what's pretty distinctive about the way we work at Case Western Reserve is that when you apply for admission, you're applying to the university. If you're offered admission, you may choose a major or double major across different colleges of the university. So it's a single door admit scenario, which is great for students who have a lot of multiple interests and who want to follow their interests in such a way that they may be able to cobble together a lot of really interesting fields of study. So that's important about us. The second piece is we are a top tier research institution. It's pretty intriguing given that we have 5,200 undergraduates and we have data that says 84% of our undergrads are involved in academic research that should that lead to publication, that means your name is on it. That's a big deal in higher ed. That's the coin of the realm. So your experience at a place like Case Western Reserve, especially if you're in a field that's doing academic research, is early and often engaged in that kind of work. So that's a pretty important distinctive piece about Case Western Reserve. We're recruiting and enrolling inventors, people with ideas that want to bring those ideas to life. And one of the more famous stops on campus tour is the Sears Think Box. It's the largest academic makerspace under one roof in the country. 7 stories of high-end 3D printers, machine tools. It's a place where ideas can come to life. We're a place that has a big footprint at the Consumer Electronics Show every year. We send some of our entrepreneurs out to South by Southwest, the Entrepreneurship Challenge every year. So place full of inventors, full of idea people, and we're looking for students who come take advantage of all those different opportunities. Another big important part life at Case Western Reserve University is engaging and using the city of Cleveland. If you came to Case Western Reserve, you would become a Cleveland lover, even if you weren't when you got here. We are in a neighborhood of Cleveland about 5 miles from downtown. People head downtown to work and to play, all the theater district and all the athletic venues. Great place to go, great place to take advantage of the opportunities. But if you chose not to head downtown and stayed right in our neighborhood called University Circle, named after us, but there's a lot going on in University Circle. You'd be going to school on a campus surrounded by some major world-renowned cultural institutions. The Cleveland Museum of Art is at the end of the street. Severance Hall, home to Cleveland's orchestra, plays right next door to our library. That's one of the big 5 orchestras in the country. In addition to that, we're surrounded by 3 major medical centers. The University Hospitals, the Cleveland VA, 3rd largest VA in the country, and the world-renowned Cleveland Clinic. So anybody doing anything in healthcare is going to have access to all of these institutions. And by the way, you're going to pass by them on the way to the dining hall and your residence halls. So they're right surrounding the campus. So if your interest is piqued by this quick overview of the institution, process-wise, we have announced to be test optional through fall of 23, and we're going to be researching whether or not that'll continue beyond that. We use holistic review using the common application or the coalition application. We're a school that will meet full demonstrated need on the need-based side of financial aid. But we're also a school that offers merit-based scholarships. So if you're a strong student, you may very well be offered merit scholarship money in your aid package. We offer all kinds of admission plans, early action, early decision, regular decision. And we also have our pre-professional scholars program, which is a conditional but guaranteed admit program to our medical and dental schools. And that's the pre-professional scholars program if you know that that's a future that you're interested in. So contact information in the lower left-hand corner, and I'll put it out in the chat room. Thank you for listening, and we hope you're intrigued by Cleveland, Ohio, and Case Western Reserve University. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Case Western Reserve University, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have University of Denver.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Stadema. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Admission at the University of Denver, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen and show you a beautiful picture of campus. As you can tell, we are located in Denver. We're close to the mountains, we're close to the city. It's really the ideal location if you're wanting to have access to a super rad city, as well as get a chance to explore beautiful Colorado. Let's see here. So just to give you a picture of campus, 94% of our students live on campus for the first 2 years. So you'll get a chance to really build community and get to know the folks that you are living with. 3 residence halls house our students. Typically, we just opened up a brand new one this year, our DeMond Family Residential Village. So that's really exciting. But we love to just really facilitate that community on our campus. Our surrounding neighborhood, I mean, we got the original Chipotle, Ben & Jerry's, and Insomnia cookies, all the things you need to be successful academically right within our immediate neighborhood. So it's a really, really fun place to live. When it comes to academics, to give you a picture of what this looks like at DU, we are a mid-sized institution of around 11,000 students, 5,700 undergrad, 5,900 grad. Average class size is 22, student to faculty ratio is 12:1, and 99.9% of our professors hold their terminal degree in their area of study. So you have access to the professors that have done the research in the field, that have presented at national conferences, that know their stuff, and they're going to know you because class sizes are small. So it's a personalized approach to education. One distinctive of how we operate academically at DU is we are on the quarter system. So instead of 2 15-week semesters, we are on 3 10-week quarters comprising that full academic year. So students will come to campus right after Labor Day. They'll study for about 10 weeks. They'll wrap up with the fall quarter right before Thanksgiving. And then there's about a 6-week break, which is so fun. Our students often will maybe plan an international trip and study abroad during that time. Maybe they'll go to the mountains and enjoy some outdoor time and then head home for a couple weeks. Maybe they'll get an internship. It's long enough you can actually do something with it. Then students come back to campus in the new year. They'll study for about 10 weeks. There's a week-long spring break, and then it wraps up the beginning of June. So a couple things to know about the quarter system. Procrastinators beware, okay? It is fast-paced. You need to stay on top of your work because 10 weeks goes by quickly. But a perk of the quarter system is that you can just squeeze in a little bit more during your 4 years. Oftentimes, students will double major, double minor. They can just accomplish a little bit more during their 4 years. We want you to get a chance to learn outside of the classroom as well as inside of the classroom. 80% of our students will do at least one internship, 50% do 2 or more, tons of research opportunities, volunteer opportunities. And as I mentioned before, we're in Denver, but we're located in a residential community about 6 miles south of city center. So you can hop on the light rail and be downtown in the heart of the city in just 15 minutes. All students get a free public transportation pass. So a ton of opportunities to get connected with businesses and other internship opportunities. Another thing that really draws students to DU is the chance to go abroad. So 77% of our students will study abroad. That puts us about 3rd in the country in terms of the percentage of our student body that studies abroad. We have over 150 program sites in 52 different countries. In our Cherington Global Scholars Program, allows any junior with a minimum of a 3.0 GPA to study abroad for the same cost as what it would be for them to attend DU for that quarter. So translation, scholarships travel with you, financial aid travels with you. We'll cover your flights, your program fees. We really take down those financial barriers that typically prohibit students from studying abroad. There's tons to do on campus as well as off campus. We offer 18 Division I sports, 30 different club sports, 20 different intramural sports. We're an active community. Being that close to the mountains, Denver is beautiful all year round. We get about 300 days of sunshine a year. So if you like to be active and get involved, there's a ton of ways to do that, both on campus, off campus, and within the city. If you're curious as to what our admitted student profile looks like, I just wanted to show you our middle 50% ranges here. 3.6 to a 4.0 GPA. Obviously, you know, applying to DU will let you know in terms of your admissions decision, but just rest assured that 25% of our student body has an academic record higher than that, and 25% has an academic record lower than that. Again, my name is Christy. I will drop my information in the chat, but so glad that you're here. Thanks for listening about DU, and come out and see us sometime when you can.
All right, thank you so much. If you have any questions for University of Denver, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Scripps College.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Jessica Johnston. I use she, her pronouns, and I am from Scripps College in Claremont, California. So Claremont is about 35 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. So we're down in Southern California, not too far from home, but kind of just far enough that you can go strike out on your own a little bit. So I want to talk about three major things about Scripps tonight. One is that we're a member of the Claremont Colleges Consortium. Another is our curriculum, and then the fact that we're a women's college. So those are kind of the main things that make us unique. First off with the Claremont colleges, so just as an introduction to the Claremonts, we are 5 undergraduate liberal arts colleges, all located within 1 square mile. You were actually literally across the street from each other. Actually, in this photo behind me, you can see 2 of the other colleges like behind me. So we really are truly very close together, and really our students are able to take advantage of basically whatever's going on across the street. So as a Scripps student, you can take classes at the other Claremont colleges. You can join clubs elsewhere. Generally speaking, you can major in things taught at the other colleges. You can also go to events elsewhere. You can eat in any of the dining halls, and all the food is pretty great. But it's just might be a little more convenient to be in the dining hall one place or another. I should also mention, of course, the other members of the Claremont colleges. It's us, Pomona College, Claremont McKenna College, Harvey Mudd College, and Pitzer College. So that's a little bit on kind of how the Claremont colleges work. We're all, again, small liberal arts colleges. Scripps is about 1,000 students. Altogether, the Claremont colleges have about 6,000 undergraduate students. Now, in terms of things that make us a bit unique, first off is our curriculum. So we have a core curriculum. It's called the Core Curriculum in Interdisciplinary Humanities. And it is something that all Scripps students do and only Scripps students do. So you will not have any students from the other Claremont colleges in these 3 classes. I would like to highlight just the first course in the sequence for you tonight. So your first semester of your first year, you will take Core 1. It is taught to the entire first year class all at one time. So you'll have lecture once a week with everybody, and then discussion sections twice a week. And those are significantly smaller, more like 15 to 20 students, depending on the year, and always led by a faculty member. You'll be with the same group and the same faculty member for the entire semester. There's always an overarching theme to Core 1. Right now, that theme is truth, and it changes every few years, but it's always something really big and broad. What we want you to get out of this experience is to kind of get a foundation in interdisciplinary thinking. So looking at one big idea from lots of academic points of view. So you can start to see the relationships between seemingly unrelated academic fields. So to that end, each week the lecture is given by a different professor from a different department. So that's where you're getting that kind of look from all these different academic disciplines. And finally, we are a women's college. This is something that makes us unique in Claremont, but also in general. There are not very many women's colleges left in the US or anywhere. So there are some myths out there about women's colleges that it's going to be like super catty and backstabby and terrible, or it's going to be like a nunnery and you're never going to see a dude again for the rest of your life, which is totally not the case at all, especially in Claremont. But what you really get when you join a women's college community is that you are, everybody else, and including you, has made this intentional choice to join a community that is dedicated to the success and empowerment of women. And when you really sit down and think about it, you probably don't necessarily know a ton of other organizations that can say they're dedicated to the success and empowerment of women. So in a lot of ways, when you go to a women's college, your day-to-day life isn't dramatically different than if you go to other small liberal arts colleges, because we're also a small liberal arts college. And so some of those principles are still at play. But there are some things that we do think about a little bit differently. We think about implicit bias as it relates to gender in the classroom and how we can combat that. We think about the way in which our faculty are teaching. Are they teaching in a way that's conducive to the way in which women learn? And the kind of last piece of it is the community itself. Like I said, everybody is opting in to being at a women's college to some degree. That means we've all kind of drunk the Kool-Aid, that this is something that we believe in. And that's a very self-selecting kind of pool of people who end up at a women's college. We believe in lifting up and centering the voices of other women. And one of my favorite things is that ambition is not a dirty word at a women's college, but it's also not about blind ambition where you're squashing all the little people on your way to the top. It's about always remembering to reach it down and bring others along with you. And that is a huge part of being at a women's college. I can talk about being a women's college like all day long. It is literally my job. But so I'm happy to answer any questions if you have those, like specifically in the Q&A. Otherwise, I do want to highlight a couple of admission things here. We are test optional. That was new this year, but is a permanent change. We also meet 100% of your family's demonstrated financial need on the need-based aid side. And we also do have some merit scholarships ranging from $15,000 to $28,000, renewable for all 4 years. That's an automatic consideration process, so no special application or anything like that. With that, I will wrap it up. Thank you so much, and I hope to answer any questions that you might have.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Scripps College, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Bennington College.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Good to have you here. My name is Tony Cabasco, and I have the privilege of serving as the Vice President for Enrollment at Bennington College. Let me get my screen here started and we can get started. So I'll start with, I like to start with the picture of our beautiful campus here. Bennington College is located on 440 acres in the foothills of the Green Mountains in my favorite state, Vermont. And just to help kind of situate where we're in the southwest corner of the state of Vermont. Sorry about that. See if I can go back. Whoops. And we're about 45 minutes from Albany, New York, and about 3 hours from Boston and from New York. So Bennington we are a quintessential New England liberal arts college, but we've also been breaking the mold of a traditional liberal arts college from the beginning, and we retain that spirit in our DNA today. So kind of founded a bold idea of offering a progressive education that combines an emphasis on self-directed learning and a hands-on experience in the field. We really think of us as a place that tries to connect students with global experiences, both on and off campus, and connecting our students with field experiences that takes them out of the world and provide some of that hands-on learning experience. And I think that we connect our community and connect our students with alumni who are admired as change makers, groundbreakers, and culture shapers. Alumni who won Emmys, MacArthur Fellow Genius Grants, and Pulitzer Prizes. Today, we have a diverse community on campus, drawing students from 40 states and over 60 countries. You can see here that we're primarily residential as well. So we also break the mold in terms of our academic curriculum, and I think the important thing here is to note is that we go beyond majors. We call it the plan process at Bennington. It's our self-directed learning model, which starts with the students, your inquiry. What's the question, the dying question you want to know? What are a cluster of disciplines that you're interested in? And in a conversation with a plan committee guided by faculty, you'll design your coursework, the disciplines you might end up studying, and even your senior advanced work. It's interdisciplinary by nature, so students might decide to combine the study of astrophysics and dance, or psychology and architecture, or in case of a recent graduate I know, her plan was the study of the role of women in the development of Nigeria, combining gender studies, African history, and political economy. So that kind of plan process is really directed by students. It allows them for an innovative, this is fostered by our innovative and flexible curriculum where we don't have required courses and there's no core curriculum. It's dynamic every term, about 50% of the courses are new. And it's innovative in the sense that you can create, if there's enough interest by students and faculty, a pop-up course, which would be a 3-week course on a topic of interest. Last summer, for example, during the unrest that was happening in Belarus, there was a pop-up course developed studying democracy in Belarus. We had 3 students from Belarus at Bennington, 1 on campus and 2 who were back home. And so there was a class where we discussed the history of Belarus and kind of what was happening. And we had students on the ground in Belarus. So I mentioned that we connect students to things beyond campus, and that's through our fieldwork term, which is 6 weeks in between the semester where you can have fieldwork, some sort of fieldwork experience, which could be an internship, work, volunteer, or research experience. We were the first liberal arts institution to combine integrate classroom study with fieldwork. So here you can see the top right, current senior Stephen, who was interning at Google, and a recent graduate, Elizabeth, who interned in Washington, D.C. with Senator Bernie Sanders. We also have some established and funded partnerships. So one of those is the Museum Fellows, which is actually a 5-month study away option. We're combining 6 weeks of the term and a whole semester where you will be doing study and internship of 1 to 10 museums in New York City. The Population Health Fellowship is our newest one, working with a local hospital to study how the healthcare model can be transformed in America. So I think the outcome of this is that we've created on campus a community of makers, students who by the time they graduate will have published writing, created an album, presented a research paper, produced pieces for an art show, or perform in front of a live audience. And you see that 6 months out, our students find their way. 93% over the last 5 years have been employed or in grad schools or doing a service program. We also find that we have self-starters. 10 years out, about a quarter of our alumni have started their own business organization. And I think that's one of the reasons why Forbes named Bennington one of the top entrepreneurial liberal arts colleges. So students, if you are a self-starter, if you are someone who's an out-of-the-box thinker, you're independent, you're innovative, and you're not afraid to break the mold, I certainly hope you consider Bennington, and would look forward to answering questions that you might have later. Thank you.
Awesome. If you have any questions for Bennington College, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have University of Puget Sound.
Great, thanks. Let me share my screen. Always the challenge, even a year in. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Tori. I am an assistant director of admission at the University of Puget Sound, and I am really excited to be here to share a little information about our school with you this evening. So to kick off, the University of Puget Sound is a national, independent, residential, small liberal arts college located in the heart of the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We have about 2,200 undergraduate students on our campus, plus another 200, 250 or so in our 4 small graduate programs. So while we are definitely a small school, we are a little bit on the big side of small at 2,200. But we think that's actually a super big advantage because it allows us to offer a really fantastic array of academic programs, including a full school of music, a really strong business and leadership program, a fantastic range of STEM majors, and a really nice range of exciting interdisciplinary programs like bioethics and neuroscience and environmental policy and global development studies and international political economy. There's a really great range. I'm not going to list them all for you, but just trust me, there's a lot that we're able to offer because we're a little larger and we have a little more faculty. So we're able to offer those things to you. But although we might be a little bigger in terms of our total enrollment than some other small liberal arts schools, we are very much still a small school. With a student to faculty ratio of 11:1 and an average class size of 17, our classes really are small and engaged. Most are going to be really discourse-based, and all are taught by the professor, not TAs or grad students. And that gives you the opportunity to work really closely with faculty and to build those relationships with them, whether it's in the classroom or the lab or office hours or in a coffee shop, you name it. Now, the classroom experience at Puget Sound really is pretty fantastic, but to be honest, we spend a pretty fair amount of time trying to get you out of the classroom for things like academic research, internships, study abroad, and community service. All of those experiential education pieces, all of those opportunities are really vital to what we do at Puget Sound. They not only provide you with really great experience for your grad school application or your job application, of course, but because you bring those experiences into the classroom with you, they enrich your experience and your classmates too. So it's a win-win to kind of get you out into the world. And our location is really, really perfect for that. We're located in Tacoma, Washington, which is a city of just over 200,000 people, nestled into the busy Puget Sound corridor. So we're about an hour south of Seattle, and although you can't see it on the map, we're about 45 minutes north of Olympia, which is the state capital. We are, this picture here is of downtown Tacoma. And it's true, we really are in the heart of a pretty busy urban corridor that runs north-south kind of through the region. So that means that your opportunities for internships and research are going to be pretty much limitless. But we know that, all of that being said, we know that many people choose to come to Puget Sound for that other aspect of our location, and that's our easy access to the great outdoors. So even though we are located in a quiet residential part of a city, it's really easy to get to the outdoors because to the east and west of us, we are all mountains and forests and national parks. And of course, Tacoma sits right on the shores of the Puget Sound. You can see it there in the picture. That's the body of water that gives us our name. So if your interests run to the kind of outdoorsy, so hiking, climbing, camping, kayaking, canoeing, skiing, scuba diving, we definitely have you covered. And keep in mind that all that access to the great outdoors, while it's fun, it also provides great opportunities for research and internships as well. So with all of this around us, it's no surprise that our students stay really busy. Campus is home to over 100 different student-run clubs, 23 Division III varsity teams, and of course, loads of club and intramural teams as well. There's a great vibrant arts culture with that School of Music, but also theater, studio art. And we have a student body that is really just great. They're friendly, supportive, committed to making the world a better place, just kind of awesome people all around. And they're smart folks. They're doing top tier academic work. In fact, Puget Sound ranks in the top 10% of baccalaureate granting schools whose students go on to achieve PhDs. It's worth noting too that our medical school and law school admission rates are twice the national average. So our students are smart and they're successful. But you're going to find that the atmosphere on campus is much more relaxed than you might expect given that all of that academic rigor. Students here tend to be really kind of internally, intrinsically driven, not competitive. So the vibe on campus is really much more kind of collaborative. And it helps too that our campus is really beautiful with lots of red brick and ivy and trees and green space. It's a great place to study and to live. So I just have like a few seconds left. I just want to talk about applying super briefly. Do know that we're a Common App school, and I will just highlight to say that we are completely test optional. We have been, we will be, so no stress about test scores. And finally, I will just say that we have, I'm showing here, pretty standard set of deadlines. Do know that when you apply, no matter which deadline you choose, you're going to be automatically considered for an academic scholarship. Those range up to $30,000 per year. We also have talent-based scholarships in music, theater, art, and debate. So please feel free to apply for those if they fall in your area of passion. And finally, of course, we would love to give you need-based aid if you complete the FAFSA. So with that, thank you so much. Right on time.
Awesome job. Thank you. If you have any questions for University of Puget Sound, please go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Loyola Marymount University.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Evelyn Fajardo. I work at Loyola Marymount University. I'm also a really proud alumna of LMU, and I'm also a native of the San Francisco Bay Area. I went to St. Mary's College High School, in case any of you are from there in the East Bay, and I'm really excited to share what makes LMU so special. So LMU is the only university in the world that is a combination of three things. We are Jesuit, we are medium-sized, and we are located in Los Angeles, California. So that is what I'm going to focus on today. So there are a few beautiful photos of our location in Los Angeles here. But I want to share first our LMU Jesuit mission. So the Jesuits are a group or an order within the Catholic Church that focus on education. LMU is open to students of all different faith backgrounds. 50% of our students are Catholic, and the other 50% of our students are everything else under the sun. Jesuit education is known for emphasizing three things: academic excellence, educating the whole person, and orienting our students to justice. So let's talk a little bit about that. The first part of our mission is the encouragement of learning. Of course, that's happening in the classroom, but we also encourage students to pursue learning outside of the classroom through research opportunities with professors, or if you come to LMU with a really specific interest that you want to engage in further, you'll receive mentorship and resources from the university to research that yourself. There are tons of interdisciplinary projects, such as our CubeSats program, which is launching an LMU nano satellite into space within the next few years. And of course, students take advantage of the fact that we're in Los Angeles, California, use the city as an extension of the classroom, and also take advantage of over 80 different study abroad opportunities. Of course, while academics are super important, it's not the only part that we want to emphasize at the university. It's not the only facet of who you are. So at LMU, we want to make sure that you are developing as a whole person. So in addition to growing academically, you're also going to be growing in your interpersonal skills. You're going to be growing in your leadership abilities, as well as your professional skills. Students of all different faith backgrounds are welcome to delve more deeply into the spirituality as well, if that's something that's of interest to you. And that takes us to the last part of our mission, which is the service of faith and promotion of justice. So like I mentioned, students of all different faith backgrounds are welcome. No matter what faith background you do come from, we're gonna encourage you to think of the ways that your skill sets, your passions, and the unique things that you're learning at LMU can be implemented to help your community in some way. We are ranked #4 in the nation for students most engaged in community service, even though LMU doesn't require any sort of service hours, and our students complete over 200,000 hours of service every single year. In terms of the academic experience, we're proud to be a medium-sized university. We're big enough to offer lots of the opportunities you'd find on a large campus, such as NCAA Division I athletics, over 200 clubs and organizations, including sororities and fraternities. And we do offer over 150 different academic programs, including 61 majors, 55 minors, in addition to pre-professional programs like pre-med, pre-law, and credential programs. Even though we're big enough to offer all those opportunities, still small enough to maintain the academic integrity of a small classroom size. Average class size at LMU is 19 students. You really get to know your professors. They get to know you by name. They take pride in the fact that in addition to being your professor and your educator, they also serve as a mentor for you, not just in class, but also in your life. And so at LMU, our professors get to know our students really deeply, and they serve to nurture our students, not just academically, but also in their professional and their personal growth. We do offer tons of majors and minors, organize them into 5 undergraduate schools and colleges that represent the 5 main areas of study at LMU, including liberal arts, business, communication and fine arts, film and television, as well as science and engineering. So if you're interested in any of those categories, LMU has wonderful programs. One of the best things about LMU is that it does offer a lot of flexibility for our students. So if you want to major between colleges, you want to major in one, minor in another, or double minor, you can easily do that while at LMU. Of course, we definitely take advantage of being in LA. There's tons going on campus all the time, but students also love to explore the city. Students love going to the beach. It's only about 10 minutes away. They love going hiking in the mountains, exploring the different areas of LA like Hollywood and downtown Los Angeles. But the best part about LMU is that even though we have access to a major urban center, we are still on the west side of LA. It is a safe, quiet residential neighborhood. So you really get a unique, distinct campus environment in the middle of Los Angeles. So instead of thinking of it as a more suburban environment, it's really more of an oasis within Los Angeles. One of the few places in LA where you're able to see both the Hollywood sign and the Pacific Ocean when you're standing from the same spot, which is, of course, a beautiful part of being an LMU student. One of the best things, I think, particularly for those of you coming from the Bay, is that LMU is the perfect distance away, because you're far enough away from home that you're getting that sense of independence. You're really figuring out life on your own. However, you're still close enough to the Bay Area that you're able to just zip up for a weekend if you want to visit family, and maybe it's your mom's birthday and you want to surprise her. It's a really wonderful distance away that offers that best of both worlds opportunity. Of course, there are tons of professional opportunities, such as Silicon Beach, which offers opportunities in business, tech, startups, but no matter what industry you're going into, there are going to be hands-on opportunities, whether it's engineering, education, law, science, et cetera, et cetera. We are very happy that we have a 97 to 99% success rate for all of our graduating seniors every year. So thank you all so much. If you would like to learn more about LMU, you can visit us virtually. I'm going to drop the link, and I'll go ahead and allow our facilitator to take over.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Loyola Marymount University, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A at this time. As we are wrapping up, I would love to invite our presenters and panelists back. I have a question for you all. All right. My question for you all today is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And if we could keep it brief so we could get through everybody, that would be awesome. We're just going to go in presentation order. Case Western University, you're first.
Oh, so thank you for the opportunity. So you've just had a chance to see 6 wonderful institutions, and frankly, you can get a great education at any of them. But what I'd like to leave you with is that the school isn't going to make you. They are going to be vehicles for what you become. And so selective admission can be challenging and maybe a little scary, but you'll find your place. And I hope you enjoy this college search process, because the ultimate outcome is you're going to find a great place and have a great future ahead of you. That's my advice for the day.
Awesome, thank you. University of Denver?
Yeah, I would say to take some of the scary out of it and to realize that you have a ton of amazing options. And actually, a lot of the power is in your hands. So as admissions counselors, we're hoping that you'll choose us. So just think about it that way. And I make sure that you get there and see which is going to be a good fit for you. Like you're trying on a new pair of pants or something. It's got to be a good fit. Okay. So make sure you take the time to visit the campus and realize that you're the one with the power. You're the one making the decision. So
a good pair of pants is so hard to find. So that was a great metaphor. I loved it. Awesome. Scripps College?
Yeah, so I would say keep doing what you're doing. Keep coming to events like this and learn lots about all these different colleges. The sooner, the better. Senior year is a lot. It's amazing. It's bittersweet. It's wonderful. And you want to be able to savor it and enjoy it without thinking always about the college stuff right now. So the more of this kind of research and really reflecting on what you want out of your college experience that you do in these next few months, even before the Common App is ever open, the better off and the less stressed you're going to be as you're enjoying those kind of rite of passage moments in your senior year. And hopefully you'll have an easier decision come next April.
Awesome. Thank you. Bennington College?
Yeah, I'll just build on what my colleague Jessica just said, that one, we want you to take the college search process seriously, take the time, do it well, do your research, take time to reflect on who you are. But I just want to remind you that this should not be the end all and be all, should not be the only thing you're doing and obsessing about between now and when you graduate high school. We would hate for you to be just sleep, eat, dream colleges. That would be disappointing for us, because there's much more important things. Hopefully you're going to be interesting to yourself and interesting to us. And that's because there's volunteer organizations waiting for you. There's soccer practice to attend, music concerts to prepare for, Netflix shows you may want to binge, prom or other dances to prepare for. That's okay to have a life. Do your college search. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be like another extracurricular your senior year, but it's okay to have life outside that. In fact, it's a good thing to have life outside that. And one tip that I can just share to students and parents, something that worked for me with our oldest daughter, who's now a college senior, is that we kind of had a set appointment every weekend on a certain 2-hour block. That was the block to talk about college. So we could, talk about where we're going to visit. What are you thinking about? But having that time freed up, other time not to worry and obsess about college. So good luck.
Awesome. University of Puget Sound?
Yeah, I would just kind of, to build on what everybody else is saying here, it kind of enjoy the process as best you can, and try to let go of that idea of perfect, that you need to be perfect in order to get into, the perfect school, in the perfect major, in the perfect city. Yes, absolutely. Go for what you want, but be open to, kind of what comes to you. Look at different schools. Don't get your mind so set on one thing that you don't see anything else. College is a time to explore, and the same thing goes with the college search process. So know that we're not looking for perfect people. We want to see the real you, and we want you to, explore enough to discover some of us. Good luck.
Awesome, thank you. And Loyola Marymount University.
All right, so I'll keep mine brief, but speaking from a first-generation college student perspective, definitely reach out to admission counselors if you have any questions whatsoever. It's not going to reflect poorly on you. Admission counselors are here to help. So if you have any questions, you need any guidance whatsoever, we are here as a resource for you, and we want to help you.
Awesome advice, everyone. Thank you so much. I know I learned a lot, so I hope our attendees, excuse me, did as well. All right. Well, thank you all so much for participating. Thank you, my panelists and presenters, for being here and sharing such great information about your awesome institutions. And my attendees, thank you all so much for joining. I hope you learned a lot. Couple things before you leave, quick survey. After you close this window, a very quick 4-question survey will appear. Go ahead and give us some feedback. We appreciate it. Sign up for more sessions. There are a lot more college presentations going on. And then also recording will be available at strivescan.com/BACS. With that said, you all, thank you again so much. And I hope you have a great night. Bye, everybody.